All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you are feeling well today. I thought I'd drop a quick vinyl finds video with minimal editing, because otherwise it takes me days to get this out. Anyways, let's start. I picked up some records today, and I've received some records in the mail in the past couple of weeks, as well as just scavenging in the city of Athens, a couple of record stores, and I found something nice. Also online markets. Anywho, let's just begin. What I got today. Let's start with the 7 inches. Reading glasses on. I got today Llama. I don't know if they are the first 7 inches. I believe they are the first 4 7 inches. What does the hype sticker say? The legendary Finnish punk band's 4 7-inch singles from the dawn of the 1980s, reproduced and collected in a natty slipcase box, experienced the raw, untamed sound and fury of classic Finpunk. And Llama is definitely at the top of the better legendary Finnish punk bands. And this is Svart. The Finnish label Svart reissued this, and let's see. Okay, just go quickly. And as I understood, they are pretty faithful replications of the original ones, so which go, of course, for several hundred of euros. So this is the first one, and with the very classic song "Totuus löytyy kaurapuurosta," which means the truth can be found in porridge. Yeah, I love porridge personally, superfood. That I remember as a younger boy when I was getting into Finnish punk, that song was like the top. But I have to say that listening this today, because I haven't listened to Llama for years, like several years, and I was actually like surprised how kind of meh that song was. But everything else, on this 7-inch box set is stellar. This is the first one. No inserts, and labels are like this. Black vinyl. There was a color variant too, which Tommy's Vinyl Note showed, if I remember well. There were 2 different color variants. One with several multicolor variants, and one with purple. Or lilac it turned out to be, but the hype sticker says purple. Anyway, this is the black vinyl version, a little bit cheaper. And then the second Llama from 1980. The previous was... 1980, yes. Exactly, and this is 81. This is already heaps better, I think, than the first 7-inch. I have to show this poster art that it has. This is a neat... same thing with the label, the Svart label, nothing special. And this is... Let me see if I can get this in the picture with the microphone in the way. Well, like that. And let me show very quickly this one. Please don't anyone rat me out, okay? Don't flag this video as inappropriate. You can freeze frame that. That was a nice poster. Of course, the album artwork itself is a little controversial, but also sweet. Third 7-inch in the box set. It's a nice album cover. It's basically from a Finnish... This picture has been taken from a Finnish dance... Tanssit. It was like my parents went to these dances bi-weekly or something, where they played tango and whatever, and then they danced. And someone has gone and written Llama over that, their whatever flyer on their door, which I thought was neat. And that's the back cover. Again, I'm not even bothering taking out the vinyl because it's black, and it has the same label as the others. Which is the only little nitpick I have. Actually, I have 2 nitpicks about this Svart release. Is the labels, but they have always, I believe, the same, this black label with their Svart logo, which I know it's their thing. But like for instance, Music on Vinyl, when they reproduce, reissue, they reissue some other older records, they have the original label, and but they keep it as original or authentic as possible, and then they just add Music on Vinyl text there. Okay, and the very last, the 4th 7-inch, Ajatuksen loppu, which is the end of thinking, and My Fear on side B. And yeah, nothing special about this packaging. Yeah, that was the other one nitpick about the label, which is not really a big deal. So, and this one, the box, it's this type of very weak, flimsy. It was actually a little bit squished here in this corner in transit. And same thing was with the Bastards Arctic Hardcore box set. I remember when I got it a couple of years ago. That was my beef. The box set was, yeah, it's just this cheap material, which I get it, they cut in costs and all that, but ever since I got Svarts Tervet Cadet, the first pressing, the TK Pop box sets, that was so sturdy, well-made box that they just, in my opinion, Svart Records set the bar this high, and they just haven't matched it, at least from the purchases I've gotten. I don't know about other stuff, so I don't obviously buy all Svart Records. Cheers. And the other 7-inch I got last week. Oh, in a white sleeve. It does have the original barcode sticker on it, and this is a Bob Mould promo 7-inch that I found on Discogs from a seller in Greece. So shipping was cheap, and I got another 12-inch, which I'm going to show a little bit later in the video, that I got from the same seller. But anyway, this is a promo release of Moving Trucks. I'm sorry, Classifieds. And the flip side has Moving Trucks. Excuse me, from the 1998 album, I believe it is, 98. The Last Dog and Pony Show, which is a hell of a record. If you follow me, you know that I'm a big Husker Du and Bob Mould fan. So, yeah, I just slowly picking up some fun stuff from the Bob Mould Husker Du collection. And that promo is not expensive. If you look from Discogs, they're like a couple of bucks. I paid, I think, €3 for that. Let's move on to the 12 inches. So, once again, I crossed something from the want list. This has been on my want list for 20 plus years or so. And it's not particularly hard record to find or expensive, but yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah. Anyways, it's the Virus 100 compilation, and I remember I heard first time this a couple of years after it was released, and I liked it a lot. And then when I don't think I've ever listened to this in its entirety. I'm pretty sure I've never streamed it. So, in case you don't know, it's Alternative Tentacles 100th release, with and they ask a lot of bands to make covers of Dead Kennedys songs. And this is a really good comp. There is one thing that bugs me. There is... what the fuck is that song? Let's the Landlord. It's twice here. And interestingly, now that I'm reading, they don't mention the second version in the back of here. I don't see the L7, because L7 plays Let's Lynch the Landlord, and Fade No More has a version of it. And I have to say, in my personal opinion, the L7 plays Let's Lynch the Landlord. It is credited in the insert, or the lyrics sheet, which overall this was in great condition, and I got it for pretty good price here in Greece as well. Oh fuck, I'm an idiot. The B-side songs are listed here. I was reading only the A-sides. Anyhow, so because they repeat one song twice, that's the only negative for me here. And maybe the Mojo Nixon one wasn't. Mojo Nixon and the Toad Lickers covering Winnebago Warrior. Maybe that one was a little bit of a letdown. I didn't remember that version much at all, but everything else I remembered pretty well. For me, maybe the best covers here, versions are obviously No Means No. And that was the main reason why I wanted this, was to get it into my No Means No collection. Napalm Death's Nazi Punk's Fuck Off is one of the best ones. New Rose's Saturday Night Holocaust is awesome. Also the Alice Donut Halloween. Disposable Heroes of Hip-Hoprisy. That's a great hip-hop version of California Uber Alles. Actually really fucking catchy and cool. Sepultura does Drug Me. Sister Double Happiness, Holiday in Cambodia. That was also nice. Ah, yeah, like I said. Moon Over Marion is also great by Les Tugs. Yeah, this is just a great comp. Unfortunately, someone has removed the hype sticker. I don't know if you can see it with the there you go. You can see. I wish it would have had that hype sticker. Back in the day, people were like, fuck that sticker. I myself included. Yes, I'm gonna just leave them here and edit these parts out. Because I'm such a thoughtful guy. Unlike some other channels out there. You know who you are. Another record I snatched from Scarecrow Records some weeks ago. And it was also something that I've wanted to have. Originals are hard to find and expensive. But the first Meat Puppets self-titled record, maybe their best record, at least the most punkiest record, and borderline like hardcore. There's hardcore elements, speedy tracks, but it's still just not like your average at the of this era hardcore and punk. This is put out by Meat Puppet Music, so I guess their own label, in 2023, and it actually sounds really good. And it's a lo-fi recording anyways, but it sounds rocking, man. And this is really good record. It comes with a inner sleeve with lyrics and all. Very chaotic sounding record. It might be like kind of unhinged in many ways. Just black label, black vinyl with that label. And next one is more Bob Mould, and this is his record. The most recent record from 2025. Here we go, Crazy. In a nice gatefold. Oh, with the lyrics. This album, as with most of Bob Mould's records since Last Dog and Pony Show, when he kind of called it quits on rock music and he was bored with rock music and started to do electronic music. Anyways, so all the records after that, when he went back to making rock music, all of his solo records for me more or less were kind of okay. There's always a couple of songs that catch you like that, but then it just gets how you say, it takes time to kind of that the other songs grow onto you. The same with this one. There's like 3-4 fucking great songs, and the rest are some that I know later on I will start liking them more and kind of finding the the good stuff in them. They're the label. And like same happened with a couple of other his records, like Patch the Sky and Blue Hearts, which was the one before Here We Go Crazy. But surprisingly hard record to find here in record stores. So I had to order this from eBay, and I bought from one of those big warehouse places where it's like shipping is $2 or $3. Yeah, I had to pay customs, but still this was cheaper than if I would have ordered it anywhere from a European record store. Or yeah, exactly. I ordered it from Europe, from UK, but still, it was cheaper. Bob Mould, Here We Go Crazy. Dead Bob, Nothing Changes Everything. This is their latest album that just came out maybe 2 months ago or so. This is the European version put out by the Polish label Antenna Grisgiu. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that, so apologies if any Polish viewer is watching it, but that's how the logo looks like. And I love the artwork and the blue and the yellow. This is the black vinyl version, and I just got this today, and I've only streamed this record once when it came out, or it was available on YouTube to listen in its entirety. And the first time I was kind of like, okay, well, all right, whatever. And then I listened to it today 2 times. First time I listened to it, read the lyrics, drank a beer, and I was like, okay, I have a 1 hour break, and then I listened to it again. Because I have to say that this is not as good record as Lifelike, the previous one. And I don't know what's with it. I'm a little bit put off by the production is not really what I I don't know, something bugs me with the production. Not too much though, but it's like I really loved the lo-fi approach of Lifelike record, and this one is a little bit like beefier sounding, like more produced sounding. But anyways, it's a good record. It's just not a fucking good record, at least not yet. Because if anyone knows No Means No, or is a fan, they know that some of their records may need some time to digest, and they kind of slowly reveal the beautiness of it. And that's that. And I think already, all right, today when I listened to it the third time, it was already sounding better to me. There's 8 songs only, and it's like barely over 30 minutes. This record, I might be incorrect, but it really feels like a short record, and it feels like it was just. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fucking big No Means No fan and Dead Bob fan, but this record was a little bit of a letdown, at least yet it is. But I know, listen to this more, when I was listening to it for the third time, I know that it's gonna grow on me. Some of the songs, they already had some stuff that was like, yeah, I know I'm gonna like this even more after a few more listens. Yeah, it was a little bit like, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook, No Means No groups and Dead Bob groups, like hyping this album so much, and I usually on purpose don't stream stuff very much, especially like records that I'm really hoping for and waiting for. That's just the black vinyl and the label, and maybe my expectations were so high, and this just kind of like because Lifelike blew me away immediately. Almost every song I loved from the first listen. I love John Wright, Rob Wright, everyone who's been in No Means No involved, but this record needs a little more getting into compared to Lifelike. But I can say, okay, with standout songs, Punk Rockorama, Save Me From Myself, which is Serena Martin is singing, and it's a beautiful song. Those two on A side and B side, Hard is Hard is great. Okay, No Fun, yes. The Present is a instrumental, and it's like, I was talking to a friend today earlier, and I said, when you listen to it and you kind of like, one of the first thoughts that I had was, okay, this sounds like someone would be making electronic music, but using minimal amount of synths and stuff, because there are still quite a lot of synths and horns on this record. But still somehow I feel like the composing wise, the song structures and No Means No and that stuff is always repetitive. Like they have these parts that just go on and go on, which is kind of like very common with electronic music and techno or some house music. And but no, this was more electronic also than I thought it would have been. It's not a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying that this album needs more chewing and digesting. I think I'm still so biased that No Means No adjacent people cannot do no wrong. I don't know, was there anything else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, and one other thing. There's like Antenna Kritsky and Wrong Records did for the Lifelike, the previous record, like 11 or 12 different color variants. What's up with that? I mean, this has 4 variants, at least at this moment. This European black version, there's a Wrong Records put out a black and a blue one, and Antenna Kritsky put 3. Okay, so there's 5 actually, 5 versions of this, which is kind of like, okay, but over 10 variants, I believe. I mean, don't take my word. This is what I remember anyway. Staying with the No Means No, another thing I crossed off from my want list, and kind of kicking myself still to this date that I didn't take the first initial pressing of this, because I did see No Means No selling this on their last tour in Hungary, Budapest, when I saw them last live, and that was the No Means No remixes. It's like a techno record, dub techno versions of 4 No Means No songs. And back then, I remember seeing this at their merch table, and I didn't really have money. I remember I had hardly money to buy the ticket to the gig, so I didn't buy any records. There was also the tour EPs, both of them original. I have bought ever since the represses, and this as well is the 2013 repress. So in the same year, they had this repressed, and this is on a red vinyl, and I will show it. But anyway, there are these artists, Deadbeat, Shackleton, Miles, and Orphex. and I had no idea of these artists before, and I do know. I mean, anyone who follows No Means No, who's a fan of No Means No, would know that this was No Means No's last official release when they were still kind of, I think, active. Hadn't yet called it quits, and Rob Wright was very much into electronic music and techno and stuff. He kind of got bored with rock music, and he was just into that. And that's why in their last tour, or last two tours, they had the River, which is in this one too, River remix, and I think it's the same version that is on this one that they started the tour, the gig with. And I remember when I saw it first, I was like, "What the heck is this?" Like, I don't know, but hey, it was cool. It's a nice rendition. Butchering the Sacred Cows, Volume 1 is the name. And it's a self-released one, and it's the same to both sides. And I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this. Because I'm not a techno guy. I know very little of techno. One white label, and then this type. I'm really not a big electronic music guy, but I've always liked some drum and bass, some like minimalistic and very bassy stuff. I don't like those too melodic techno and where it's like fucking loads of shit going on. But these ones, I like this that much. I have listened to it like 5 or 6 times since I got it. Was it this Monday or last week? Anyway, not long ago. I liked it so much that it rekindled, is that the word? Anyway, it's reignited my desire to go back making electronic music. Because, fun fact, I used to make, just for my own pleasure, or for myself, some electronic music in 2001. If you are old enough, you might remember PlayStation had a program called Music 2000. And I bought that, and I was really into making music, and I back then already made my own remix of one No Means No song. Now remember, this is 10 years before anyone was remixing anything, and I'm trying to find that. I have a cassette tape with that version that I made on a PlayStation music making software. I did on one No Means No song, which I started this week to remake. I will try to recreate it and post it here on YouTube. Let's see how that is being received. But yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite No Means No songs also that I'm gonna make the remix of. But yeah, it's a really fun record, and especially when you don't know what you want to listen. Ah man, I already know myself listening to this plenty of times in the future, because I have many times days I want to listen to music, but I don't want to listen to the same punk and metal and whatever rock records I have. And then I put a jazz on or something noisy or something. The other record that I bought from a Discog along with this Bob Mould 7-inch was a sealed copy of Total Devo. I left the shrink wrap on. You just have to take my word on it that it was sealed when I bought it. I just paid $10 for it. So I thought, hey, I know everyone, or most people seem to shit on this record, but I went and listened a couple of songs online before I pulled the trigger on this, because I had to get something with that 7-inch, something else, and I saw the guy had this with the promo cut there, and the A side especially has good songs. Like I like Baby Doll, Disco Dancer. Disco Dancer goes though a little too long. But those two songs, Some Things Never Change is a wonderful song. Those three especially were standout songs for me. And on the B side, The Shadow was cool. And yeah, by no means not a great Devo record, but still, this reminds me at times of Neil Young's Landing on Water, which is by the way, for the record, it's my favorite Neil Young record. I love Harvest too, and After the Gold Rush, but I love that 80s sound, Neil Young, and the melodies. And this at times reminds me of that record. So yeah, obviously I like this Total Devo record with the lyric insert and stuff. Yeah, no more. Yeah, okay, it's this. I mean, it's not an expensive record to get even, but I thought, hey, sealed one. Lastly, but not least, definitely, this last record I bought a couple of weeks ago in a very touristic hotspot in Athens, and there's a couple of record stores on that same street, very nearby each other. And even though they're in such a touristic spot, the prices are not ruined. Well, especially Mr. Vinilios, where I bought this one, and they have many times like original pressings that are not for bad price, like much less than in Discogs usually on Discogs. Anyways, I got this finally. It's also one of those that I got to cross from my list. It's a reissue from 2019, BMG and Mute. First Suicide. I'm a big. I mean, I love Alan Vega. Cannot say I'm a big fan because I don't know or read about him much, but I love his stuff. And also Suicide is great. And Martin Rev, Alan Vega, very minimalistic electronic rock, psychobilly rock, I would say. And Alan Vega just continued on this when he went on his solo stuff. But this was only €18. And it was sealed. I was like, fuck me. And this is usually over $30 on Discogs plus shipping. So it was a no-brainer. I'm gonna take this one. It has a booklet. Only thing, there was only one caveat or a catch, which I didn't see there in the store, but it's not a big thing. When it was sealed, it had gotten water damaged on this corner. Maybe you can see that it's a little bit uneven, but I didn't notice it then. So that's why it was only €18. But it's really not really something that, hits your eye immediately. Only like with the booklet you can see that some of the pages were a little bit stuck together, but I tried to be careful. So yeah, it has a insert like that. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Every song is a killer. There's no fucking fillers here. And it has also this kind of song, whatever, art. What you call these? I don't know. I could frame this actually. And it's on a red vinyl. Yeah. No needle drops this time, I believe. Still, I managed to make 33 minutes. I've got to edit this down some. And that's why I edit my videos, because there will be otherwise 30 plus, 40 plus videos, and no one wants to watch those. I'm not that interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one, and since it's summer and fucking hot, remember to stay hydrated. On the next one. See you on the next one.